What is the luckiest thing that can possibly happen to a person? I'm sure there's a legitimate, verified answer to this question using statistics and probability to calculate it. But hooey with that. Just like a Twitter user, I'm plugging my ears and I'm closing my eyes and I'm going to make something up. I'm pulling something out of my ass. I'm making the assumption that the luckiest thing that can ever happen to you is winning the lottery. The odds of you taking home the jackpot in something like the Powerball are so unbelievably low. So teeny tiny, itty bitty, that it is incomprehensible to even imagine winning the lottery. I'm sure everyone's tried playing at least once or twice. It's never going to be a good idea to play the lottery, but it's just one of those things where you're sitting in the gas station, you're like, fuck it, I'll let it rip. Let's just see if all the stars have aligned. And I think the best I've ever done, my PB, is maybe 2 numbers that I got correct, which of course is nothing. Like that's not even enough to get a government agent to spit in a cup and feed it to you. You get nothing for that. To get all of the numbers is just, it has to be one of the most unlikely things you can ever do. And that brings me to today's topic. A story that I've wanted to tell but just haven't yet. I told it on stream last night, so I'll play the clips from it. But I want to break it down because this is a story that defies all of the odds. And it involves a buddy of mine and his girlfriend and her mother. Now, many of you know I'm in a band, the Gentle Men. It is myself and my friend Troy from New Zealand. Troy does all of the music. I do the lyrics and vocals. And Troy also does vocals as well. We're responsible for some of the most iconic boner jams of the 21st century, things like 2019 Guy, which was the first of its kind, a cuck-core anthem, which has never been done before or done since, and then things like Skynut, 2004 Breakup, Your Boyfriend Doesn't Scare Me, most recently Filthy, which actually lost me a brand partnership because the song is such a banger. And point is, Troy is a good friend of mine as part of this music project that we're in, The Gentlemen. Quick side note, since I'm already on the topic, this is a question I've been getting asked a lot, so I'll briefly address it. We are making more songs. In fact, we have a new EP dropping within a month, probably a little less than a month now. So there is more The Gentlemen music on its way. Now, that wasn't relevant to the story at all, so let's get back to the story. Troy has a girlfriend, and his girlfriend's mother plays the lottery every single week. And recently, something miraculous happened. When is it story time? Okay, you know what? I'll tell you a little story. Lie down in your bed, I'll tuck you in, snug as a bug in a rug. So, Troy, the other half of the Gentlemen, our band, his girlfriend has a mother. She plays the lottery every week and has played the lottery every week for, I think it was 20 years. She plays the same numbers every single week and has done so for about 2 decades. Now, Troy and his girlfriend are in New Zealand. The mother is also in New Zealand. And for 20 years, she has played the New Zealand lottery with the same numbers. A month ago, those numbers came up. And Troy and his girlfriend lost their fucking mind. They went crazy celebrating. Holy shit, your mom just won millions. I don't know what the jackpot was, but millions. So his girlfriend calls her mom ecstatic, super happy. And it turns out her mom, in one of the very rare times that she does this, did not go get lottery tickets with those numbers because it was raining and she didn't want to make the trip. A legitimate once-in-a-lifetime opportunity missed because of a light drizzle. And Troy and I were talking about it. Troy said to me that he wouldn't be able to live with that guilt if it was him. He'd probably kill himself. And I said, same. I don't know how I would go on living knowing that the luckiest possible thing that could happen to you would have happened to you if you just followed the routine. But her mom took it like such a champ, such a fucking warrior, that she just said, guess it wasn't meant to be. And I believe she went back to playing the same numbers again and is still currently playing every single week. Same numbers, even though they've already come up and will never come up again. It's like a story out of an anime. There's a little story for you. That's one I haven't told yet. Troy told me that about 3 weeks ago, and I was flabbergasted. I felt so bad. Like, I felt bad for them. The mom's totally fine with it, I guess. But man, that was crushing just to hear. The real story will be when the numbers come up again and she wins. That'd be the good ending, but I really don't see that happening. Has there ever been a case where the same lottery numbers have come up more than once? Let me see. I'm going to look that up. Here's a crazy story from October. Same New York lottery numbers drawn twice in one day. Yeah, I don't see anything about repeat numbers. Like any data on it. I'm sure it's happened though. It has to have happened at some point. But the likelihood of that is super low. How much would it cost to buy every possible outcome in the lottery? I looked that up. There is data on it. It's an incredibly high number. But the biggest thing actually isn't buying every number. Let's assume you had the wealth for it. Here. The biggest problem is you would have an incredibly difficult time locating the ticket with the winning numbers on it because you'd have so many tickets. The Mega Millions and Powerball lotteries in the US can have jackpots that exceed $1 billion, and each lottery has odds about 1 in 300 million, and each ticket costs $2. Theoretically, you could buy all combinations of numbers for 600 million and guarantee that you will win $1 billion for a profit of 400 million. Wait, but you already know that's not how it works, which they're about to get into. So 600 million to buy every combination. The reason you don't actually profit is because there's tax on it. So if you win $1 billion, you keep, I think, 300 million. So you would have lost 300 mil through this. Mr. Beast did something similar. He bought scratch-offs, but he didn't make money. He lost money. He had some winners, sure, but he still ended up losing more than he won. 70%. I think so. Did I get the math wrong? Let me double check. I'm pretty sure if you win $1 billion, you keep about 330 million. If a winner emerges from Wednesday, they'll have the option to choose between $1 billion spread out across 30 years or a lump sum of 516 million. The lump sum will face the mandatory federal tax withholding of 24%, leaving the winner 392 million. And depending on the winner's taxable income, their winnings could drop to as low as 325 million. So yeah, you'd lose money if you bought every possible combination. 325 million is still good. Hey, she ain't bad, but the reason we're talking about that is because we were looking up how much it would cost to buy every combination, and it's roughly 600 million. So you'd lose money. You'd lose a lot of money. Oh, another great point. Also, more than one person can win, and then you'd have to split it further. So yeah, you would just lose money. A ton. You're so wrong. I am looking at the numbers. What are you talking about? What am I wrong about? What? It's all right here on what you take home on $1 billion win. Let's just assume you get the lump sum, and for some reason they say, you know what? Listen here, Bubba. I'm not taxing that. Uncle Sam said, you keep that 516 million, not subject to tax. You'd still lose $100 million. So if you buy all the combinations here, you would need the jackpot to be well north of $1 billion, because $1 billion wouldn't be enough to cover what you spent.